Okay. Call to order the public hearing for the town of Madisonville, June 10th, 2026. Would you please call the roll?
Councilman Haddix. Councilman Bones.
Present.
Councilman Dennis.
Present.
Councilwoman Faisal.
Present.
Councilman Ogle.
Present.
Mayor Pelot.
Present. The public hearing tonight is on the FY 2027 budget. The budget has been reviewed and is now in its final stages unless there is additional or some other comments or anything we need to add. Are there any questions?
I guess I had one, Mr. Mayor. We learned last month, there's a line item in the budget for the riverfront, $1,480,000, I believe. And we learned last month that the state approved only $100,000 for that.
There was, you're talking, it's not in the budget. It's actually, well, I shouldn't say that.
Yeah. It's on the last page of the budget.
When you say it's in the, yes, it's in the capital outlay request. I think that's where it's listed. It's actually for Water Street, roads, and parking. And it's,
I guess my question is, yeah, I have a pretty good idea of what was being proposed for the $1,480,000.
Right.
Not for the $100,000 that we actually received. Do you have any idea what your priority is going to be there?
with the 100,000, yes, for roadway, just to contribute or to add to the cost of the overlay of the road or parking. Now, it's certainly not going to go do what we were actually hoping to get. If you noticed in the state legislation, the $100,000 was payable out of savings, capital outlay savings fund, $100,000, and $1 million was put in the general obligations bond, priority 5. So, and that's for the same project. So there's $1 million that's recognized in priority 5 by the legislature. And there's $100,000 that was given toward the project this year. So again, sometimes it's done that way where the legislature does not, they don't have the money for the total project, but they identify the project, and that's what they did. So it is on their list of projects to look at each year. Hopefully each year, it'd be nice next year to get the $1 million. But if not the $1 million, we could hope for another contribution toward the project of overlaying and the street and improving the parking on Water Street. So that's what that's.
One other question about the new water well. We've been told that once we get on a waiting list, we might wait a year for that well to be drilled. So that would put us into fiscal year 2028. And there was $3 million set aside in surplus funds in this budget for that water well. Is it your intention to just hold those over until next year, anything that's unspent?
I think it's in the budget, and it's going to stay there until it's spent, yes. That's my opinion. And again, there's an update, I guess, on the We met, I met a week ago, Kyle? Huh? Last Tuesday. And we're identifying the location for the well. The people who are going to bid on the well were there. And there's a chance that the well may not be as far off as we were thinking that it could be. But it's in the budget. The $3 million is in the budget. And as far as, in my opinion, it's going to stay there. It's a commitment to the well, to drilling a new well, and it should stay there until that's actually done. Are there any other questions about the budget? If no other questions, I'll need a motion to get out of the public hearing.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Haddock, second by Councilman Dennis to adjourn the public hearing. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you very much. Now I'll call the meeting, the regular town council meeting of June 10th, 2026 to order.
Councilman Haddix? Councilman Bounds?
Present.
Councilman Dennis?
Present.
Councilwoman Faison?
Present.
Councilman Ogle?
Present.
Mayor Pelot?
Present. I'd ask you please to silence your phones, stand for the invocation by Councilman Dennis and the pledge by Councilman Ogle.
Heavenly Father, we humbly ask for your wisdom, strength, and clarity during our decision-making tonight. Please continue to watch over our residents, employees, and visitors to our town. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Council, you received your town council meeting minutes for May 13th, 2026, and May 27th, 2026, public committee meeting minutes. Are there any changes, amendments, or corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, those minutes are both approved. You also received your the April 2026 financial statements. Are there any changes, corrections, or amendments to the finance? Hearing none, they're both approved. Next on the agenda is public comment period. And public comment period is for members of the audience. They have 3 minutes to make a statement or express a concern at the outset of the meeting. We do have one person that asked to be recognized tonight in advance, and I'll ask Josh to come up. Josh is with our fire department, and they had asked us to put them on the agenda, and I apologize, but we're going to get you first anyway.
No worries. Thank you all for giving us the opportunity tonight. My name is Joshua Blum, I'm the Deputy Chief of the Fire District 2 here that covers Madisonville. I'm coming tonight because we have a millage renewal that's going to be on the ballot June 27th. I just wanted to maybe inform everybody that that's going to be happening and kind of take a minute to explain what we do with that and kind of a little background on our department if you can. Our millage is 20.62 mils. That is the third lowest millage of a fire district in the entire parish, and that is our sole source, almost sole source of funding for the entire fire department. This is a renewal, so it's not going to raise or lower anything. This is just to continue a 10-year renewal for our current millage rate. So for our fire department, the east boundary is the Chifuncta River. Our west boundary is the parish line. To the south is the lake. And then to the north, we go to I-12. And then once you get north of I-12, we stay to the east all the way up to where Old Forest Manor was right there. It covers approximately 37 square miles and about 24,000 residents. We have 50 employees currently, 49 of them We are all trained up to a firefighter 2 level, and our full-time firefighters, we have no volunteers. As I came here before and explained, since 2017, we've lowered our PIL rating, which is the rating that affects homeowners insurance rates in this area. We went from a 5 to a 1, one being the best that you can be, and a handful of, I believe it's less than like 25 departments in the entire state. At the class 1, there's 497 fire departments in the state. For 2025, we ran approximately 1,900 calls, give or take, in that 37 square mile area I was referring to earlier. So basically, the bottom line is a yes, it's a yes vote. Supporting our millage renewal will allow the department to keep operating in the sense and allow for our capital outlay projects and that sort of thing. If there was no support for the millage, we do run the risk of our funding ending and the department would essentially be non-existent without this millage. So I welcome any questions you have at this time or anything, and we always ask for your support.
Josh, I don't have any questions because I know how Fire District 2 operates.
Yes, sir.
I also want to congratulate y'all on fire rating 1. It's a major accomplishment, and without this millage, it would affect how y'all are operating.
Very much.
Without saying. But I, for one, am for it. I'm out there beating the brush, trying to push it. It's needed, it's a necessity, and our end of the parish is fastest growing around.
Yes.
And you can just take a look at Beatico Meadows all the way back down, and it's going to, wherever there's open ground, they're putting housing and subdivisions right now. So I implore everyone in this council, everybody in this town, please support our fire department. It's a necessary renewal. It's nothing new, but it's important to maintain what we already have. And once again, I thank y'all for achieving number 1.
Thank you. And on that note, we did open our 4th station, which is at the entrance to Beatico Creek right there, and that was done out of necessity for the sheer amount of calls and the size of Beatico Creek and the development of that area as far as that new subdivision on 1085 and I-12 right there as well.
I have a quick question for you. If I'm remembering correctly, the district rolled back its millage a couple of years ago when the assessor did their...
Yes.
Okay. So is this renewal for the rolled back millage?
No, we rolled forward last year, I believe, so this is our max millage.
And this vote is specifically for your department?
Yes.
Not neighboring departments, correct?
No, so every fire department in St. Tammany Parish has their own millage rate. This is just for Fire District 2 to renew our millage.
Perfect. Just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Yes.
Excuse my ignorance, but you said if we don't vote to renew it, what happens?
So if we don't renew this millage, we have an additional 3 years left on this millage rate. We'd obviously just keep trying to get it renewed, but if this ultimately does not get renewed, there is no funding for the fire department at that point.
But a new millage would be proposed, right, and voted on?
In the event that were to happen, I would assume so, but I don't know exactly for sure. That's it? All right. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else here to speak to the council? Seeing no one, we'll move into our new business. We have no old business on the agenda tonight. Our new business is the fiscal year 2027 budget. It's open, the floor is open for any comment from the council. Any from the residents? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to approve that.
Motion to adopt the 2027 budget.
Well, and Deidre, I'm sorry, I wouldn't.
Second.
This motion was made by Councilman Dennis, second by Councilman Haddix. I would ask Deidre to read the ordinance so that you can make that motion on that ordinance.
An ordinance adopting the 2027 fiscal year budget, July 1, 2026 to June 30th, 2027. The town's 2027 fiscal year budget was passed after a full and open public meeting and upon prior notice and opportunity for all interested parties to be heard, and upon careful consideration of the various issues. Upon the adoption of this ordinance, the 2027 fiscal year budget shall be as set forth on the budget document attached hereto or as otherwise amended by council vote. Be it ordained by the mayor and the council of the town of Madisonville, the 2027 fiscal year budget is hereby adopted and will go into effect July 1, 2026.
So the ordinance was made by Councilman Dennis, seconded by Councilman Haddocks. Would you do a roll call vote, please?
Councilman Ogle?
Yes.
Councilman Dennis?
Yes.
Councilman Haddocks? Councilwoman Faison?
Yes.
Councilman Dennis? Councilman Bounds?
Yes.
You get 2 votes tonight. Yes. Yeah. Motion was approved unanimously. Thank you very much. And we'll move on, actually, to our monthly department reports, engineering.
Okay, give everybody a copy of the summary for this month. If you go down to the wastewater treatment and collection system, that's our plant repairs, and we're waiting on a final adjustment, change order, and a substantial completion from the contractor. On the next page, the water system improvements, it was funded, and we're waiting on the corporate endeavor agreement from the state before we can get started on that.
What that is, just to clarify that for everyone, that is the $500,000 that was requested in capital outlay, and it was approved. And again, once we get the agreement from the state, we will look to have that engineered and go out for bids to replace water lines.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, next, of course, the well elevated tank and miscellaneous appurtenances, that was not approved on the capital outlay. Under the new well that we're working on now, we've working on the site layout, made several visits to the site, and we will be doing a boundary survey around the property there so we can make sure where all the boundaries are. The next one on the town park, we have had comments from the agency, and B is in the process of getting that information on the bathrooms back to them. So that looks like that probably will be funded. Okay, the next page is on the, and you talked about the $100,000 for the waterfront. Again, you will get a corporate endeavor agreement from the state, and that money will be available at that time. On the last, the 5th Street water improvements, we're waiting on a clear lien from the contractor. Comments, questions?
No
Okay.
questions? Thank you very
All right,
much.
thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joe. Thank you, Joe.
Police?
Thank you, Mayor. Some of the activities we have that I'm going to report on, we report on because it was so close to the last meeting. We had the attempted carjacking, we're moving on, getting that, working with the other agencies to try to get the prosecution straight with that. We had the propane gas event at one of our businesses here, the river jump, which we have absolutely nothing to do with other than it's in our town. That went very well. The weather cooperated with us because it was good and cloudy and kind of rainy, so it hurt it a little bit. Our new employee is doing very well, Doug Sherrill. He's in the FTO stage. He's probably in the second stage now. He's doing really well, so not that we had any doubt that he wouldn't, but he appears he's going to be really well. We actually speaking with 2 other candidates now, and actually had a third one call me yesterday, so we went from nothing to having a little selection group, so we're hoping to be able to get another good candidate out of those 3, which I'm sure we will. I ran across an article, which I guess kind of explains why we have any issues, not say us, Louisiana in general. It had the ranking of the police departments through the nation. And out of Louisiana ranks number 47 to be a law enforcement officer across the nation. Arkansas is 48, Nevada is 49, Hawaii is 50, and Alaska is 51. So I'm sure it's not just us that has the challenges of trying to hire people, being number 47 across the nation, but I think California, Connecticut, and the other ones 1, 2, and 3. So it seems like everybody's got the same challenges we got, I believe, of trying to get good officers. But we got a little roll going now, so we're hoping that's going to keep going. I don't know if everybody's been down the Lake Road the last week or so. It's just been a challenge for us. The water's been crazy. I don't know if y'all see it in the morning. The water's coming over the riverfront, and an hour later it's back down. I'm kind of marine ignorant, other than having to keep people going around that barricade trying to drive through the water down there. That's been a challenge for the last several days for us. But the road's kind of that water's taking a toll on some of that road down there. So you go down there, be careful, because it's got some challenges. Otherwise than that, everything has been relatively quiet for the summer. We hope it remains that way. I'll throw a couple of numbers. I'm going to sit down. 2025 traffic stops, we were down, but we were pretty well down on everything. But last year, with our numbers we were fully staffed back then, so we were working a little shorter. But our traffic stops for 25 was 113. The traffic stop this year was 75. Our citations was 100 last year, even. This year they're 88. The warning stayed the same at 33 and 33. Our arrests went down from 4 last year to 1 this year. And our accidents went down, luckily, from 7 to 3. So we're happy about the accidents, but I see those with the summertime coming up, that we always have an increase in those. But hopefully, the good Lord willing, everybody behave and drive safe and be safe. We had the accident, the major accident with the motorcycle here in town, and we finished it up and finally got that one done. And otherwise, that has been relatively quiet. I stand for any questions, comments.
I wanted to ask you a follow-up for something you said last month. And I know you've been shorthanded. We had one officer who resigned a few months ago.
Yes.
We had another full-time officer who retired. We had a third part-time officer who, I guess, resigned.
That's correct.
Okay. You mentioned that you're covering everything with what you have.
Yes.
Does that mean that we have an active patrol overnight, or is that just somebody who's on call that?
No, for the most part, Councilman, we have someone around the clock. There are sometimes to where there are some hours we try to take those hours that we have the least amount of calls for service, or least amount of traffic, which is normally the early morning hours for the ones that we don't cover, but it's very, very rare. We try to schedule out between Mike and I. I'm a salaried employee, obviously, so I try to work as much as I can, though, to cover it. One of our officers has been having some health struggles, but he's doing much better now. So we're hoping a lot of that's going to be corrected. Obviously, once we get Doug being able to cut loose on his own, that's going to be a tremendous benefit, and we're still going to be one more down there. But to say there's never, no, that's not true, but it's an extremely rare occasion that we do not have somebody actually in a police car working.
You mentioned the attempted carjacking.
Yes, sir.
There was that story in the news about the shooting at a gas station in Hammond recently.
Yes.
The incident that happened, everybody's been talking about it, Keith Young's Steakhouse.
Yes, sir.
One of the news agencies did a report on it, and they had the 911 report. And sometimes the news agencies don't get all the facts correct, no offense to you. But they mentioned it took 29 minutes for a deputy to respond.
Yes, sir.
To that incident. And that concerns me. If we're not fully staffed, and this message isn't to you, you've been doing everything that you can with what you've been given. This message is to everybody sitting to my left. We absolutely have to offer a competitive salary to our police officers. We're competing with other agencies that may offer more. You know, there's a report also in the news, I heard that the Tangipahoa Ho sheriff, who has issues with funding,
Yes, sir.
was on the news saying he has to cover sometimes the entire parish with 2 deputies overnight. So these are just things that they concern me when I see them. I think there's a fix to it. We can support you better than we have. We've got a pay scale that hasn't been fully implemented yet, but I'm going to continue to work on it and try to get my colleagues up here to join me to implement that pay scale.
Yes, sir. Well, we appreciate it. And look, like I said, it's a rare occasion, and even if it is, it sounds corny, but my radio's on at my house. Literally, tuned all day most of the time. And so I do make patrols when I'm not working. We got some other officers that drive through town just to add the higher visibility to the police cars. But it's a rare occasion, but there are occasions. I'm not going to sit here and say we perfect. There are occasions where, yes, the sheriff's office will cover for us, but it's normally the hours that we choose that are the least amount of call related historically, from historical data. But for the most part, we try to have somebody out there all the time, at least one. And, but yeah, it is a challenge when you compete with other agencies all around. I mean, in Tangipahoa, you know, obviously the sheriff and I are dear friends. I have been for many years. He does have some challenges over there he's trying to overcome also, but that's everybody.
Yeah, well, here
We're called out for Youngs.
No, sir. We got 37 phone calls from every media entity within 100 miles, but we explained to them because all they heard was Madisonville, and obviously outside of our corporate limits. You know, look, that would have been a life and death situation. I might have let somebody die. I would have went. I was working. But there were several of us working, but no.
Outside the city limits.
We have nothing to do with that business whatsoever at all. We just, other than it has the Madisonville name, Madisonville address.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's not our jurisdiction. But also for the residents, for those 2 or 3 hours upon occasion that we don't have an officer in town, we have District 3 right up the road.
Absolutely.
At Pinnacle that can respond to cover. And that does a rollover call.
Yes, sir.
Say if we need a response in town. So our town is never not covered.
That's correct. And look, the sheriff's office is a professional entity. I know they had some recent events that may argue with that from the top, but the deputies that's out there working day and night, those men and women work hard. I was there for 26 years, I know. And they got a one hell of a group up there, and they work hard. And they will come in the municipality. We did it all the time. A lot of municipalities had struggles when I was there, but they have their own backyard to cover also. So they cover a lot of ground, them boys and girls, they really do, but they got their professional group.
Yeah, and that's called mutual aid,
That's
whether it's fire service or whether it's law enforcement.
No matter
It's
what it
one and the
is.
same.
Absolutely, and it's going to continue from both sides. We go help them when they need it, they help us. But, you know, like I said, you want to be able to take care of your home. You know, but yes, we do have challenges, but the majority of the law enforcement entities out there have them, and everybody's struggling with the same struggles, manpower-wise, and trying to get good policewomen to you.
Yes, well, I mean, if you were a large department and you were down 3 police officers, it probably wouldn't be a big deal. But that's half your police
That's correct,
patrol
yeah.
force.
Yeah, it's a high
And the
dollar
29 minutes, to me, was kind of alarming when I heard that, because that's, you know, a little bit closer.
And you're absolutely right, Councilman. If that statement is true, that is 110% totally unacceptable. Because it's taxpayers everywhere in this parish. There's no way ever they should take 29 minutes to get anywhere with that sheriff's office. Not the amount of deputies they have and the professionalism they have. They should not ever take 29 minutes to get anywhere. That was unacceptable. I agree. If that is a correct statement. I've heard the same thing, but I haven't confirmed it because it's none of my business. But that is a long time to wait on a call of that magnitude. If it was some call that could wait, then yes, but that was a serious call. And they never should have taken 30 minutes to get there, if that's true.
You said we have 3 viable candidates that are applying.
2 viable. The third one is
We got
adapted.
one, and we got 2 more that are in.
That's correct. And one of those 2 hopefully is going to pass the muster, and we'll be able to get them as fast as we can. Yes, sir.
And how many police officers are you down right now?
Well, since we got Doug, we're down one now.
You're down
two.
one. Okay, I just wanted to clarify
Yeah.
that. I also want to clarify that we've got two very, very active councilmen on the Public Safety Committee that meet with you on a monthly basis. Am I right?
Or sometimes more than a monthly basis. Absolutely.
Sometimes
Yes,
on
sir.
a monthly, more than. Councilman Bounds and Councilman Dennis
Yes.
meet with you on a regular basis.
Yes, sir.
They've addressed salaries, they've addressed all your public needs, police department needs on a regular basis, do they not?
We discuss them regularly, yes, sir.
Okay, all right, just wanted to clarify that and give them recognition for all they do.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions, or we'll recognize you after the council are finished? Any?
One other one. I've had a couple of people ask me, have some safety concerns about that corner right by the coffee shop
Yes, sir.
where the beauty salon's across it.
right?
So the concerns are the parking that's on the side. If there were a sidewalk there, they'd be on the sidewalk the whole time. But, when you go through the drive-through and you come out over on St. Anne,
Yes, sir.
they've got that long van, and they've got cars that the people coming out can't see people turning on to St. Anne.
Yes, sir.
Then, so one issue was the sidewalk, one issue was really blocking the view of people there, and then people coming out on St. Anne being able to see on 2021,
Yes.
looking left, when they're coming out there. I wonder if there is anything we can do to maybe look at that. I think it's part of a bigger problem along that whole stretch.
Yeah, I was about to say the parking in front of the jewelry shop. I mean, it blocks visibility as well. I mean, that whole stretch there, the parking is problematic.
Well, I've
Morgan
actually-
Street, you can't exit safely, just the same as St. Anne.
I've actually addressed the part with the van once already, and it was stopped. They basically moved the operation to the other side of the building where the drive-through was. But yes, I have been seeing the van is back, and I've had only maybe, I think, one, maybe two complaints. I know I had one that when you got to St. Anne traveling east, when you looked to your south, it was hard to see if there was any traffic because they were parking on that shoulder. That is a state highway, that is a legal shoulder, but it's an emergency shoulder. It is not a parking lot. So we've tried to watch that. I've tried to address it with the business to try to just maybe kind of hint around to the customers that it is causing a danger, but everybody's in a hurry too, Councilman, they want to get out there. If everybody takes it up, because I travel the roads every single day, multiple times a day, and I've seen cars parked where if you inch your way out, you can do it, but there's some of them larger vehicles, the Suburbans, Tahoes, the Escalade, stuff like that, parked there in the front, it does make it difficult to see any southbound traffic coming from the north.
That project right there that we have pending is supposed to solve that. That's my understanding, or at least improve it, because it's going to prevent that parking that's going to block.
Yeah. Well, we had
My understanding, at least.
We actually discussed, a discussion with the mayor on this one time. Kind of difficult, we put some red cones out there, just stop the parking, but it's, you want to accommodate our businesses as much as possible, but at the same token, you want to be safe with it. And, they do have some additional parking on the side, on the north side by the drive-through that they have over there, and, they park on the shoulder on the side of St. Anne, so that there's, I wouldn't park my car on the side of the road in front of that business, I really wouldn't. Number one, I think it's rude, number two, I just think it's dangerous, but, and it's not, I don't know if it's quite as bad, Councilwoman, as much as they say, because I haven't seen that many cars parked there, but every time one of them parks there, we do receive some type of complaint or some type of concern.
How many accidents?
None.
No.
We had one there on St. Anne that was not related to that at all.
And the
but,
St. Anne, I mean, we did address that.
Yes, sir.
At one time. I don't know if
We did.
the van's back now, I mean.
It's back on occasion, man. It was parked there before, and what they would do, instead of putting it up to the building, they leave the tail end sticking 3 feet in the road. So, I found out there, I was like, I'm not being arrogant, we want to support my business, but the next time it's out there, I'm going to put a record on it and tow it, and we're going to be done with it. So it pretty well solved it for a while, but it seems like they're inching back in, so we're all going to address it again.
Maybe not accidents, but I've almost hit people coming out on Morgan Street multiple times because they don't see me. I'm in the Suburban, they don't see me for some reason, I don't know why.
Well, Morgan, we got some challenges, because you got the business there on the right, but you also have some of the delivery trucks that park on the southbound side of Covington Street that hampers your ability to see any southbound traffic coming. But normally they're there a short period of time, and it keeps them from pulling them apart. It's actually safer than them trying to turn against traffic to go into the parking lot and stuff. So we try to allow that as much as we can to help try to satisfy everybody.
With the old theater, I guess, coming up for approval soon, and they're working on it.
Yes, sir.
To me, it's only going to get worse. I know when we were doing the master plan, they did an inventory of parking around there, and there's
Yes, sir.
not many options. There was a woman who came in to get approval. She didn't put her business there, the vintage clothing shop. I mean, she mentioned, would CM Combs sell part of their property to the town for a parking lot? There's a lot of live oaks there, which would be an issue. But I think we need to really look at that entire corridor and see if something, I know the mayor has mentioned he wants to support the businesses there. I want to also. I think the guy has a good concept for the old theater, but it's going to take some creative thought. Did anybody reach out to Combs to see if they even had an interest
No,
in
I
it?
spoke to Combs. He made no indication that he wanted to sell. He approved some parking over there for that business, to use that parking on that street, on his property. But it was just an approval to allow some parking in there for that area. He indicated that he would approve that, not sell it. I didn't ask about that. He volunteered the use of it for parking over there.
I think it'd be worth asking if you had
That's just a very difficult intersection. I think
Yeah.
I think Morgan and Covington is either number 2 or number 3 of our accident intersections that has and luckily with the intersection we have, we're very fortunate to have the minimum amount of accidents we have. We really are, but that intersection I think was number 2, the main one's right in front of the police station. That's all
We also need to look at the parking that was supposed to go in behind that building.
behind that building.
And that's the perfect solution for the business itself.
Yeah.
For the jewelry store, for the fabric store, the owner made comment that he was going to put in parking, and that should have been done. To support his own business, his own building.
Yeah. You can't blame, it's hard to blame the patrons of those businesses when they park in the front.
Yeah.
Because it's limited parking. You park across the street on the shoulder, it's a grass shoulder in front of the dentist office. If it's wet, they're going to rut it or they're going to get stuck. So they're really left with no other option other than parking in front of the business.
Yeah.
Which complicates the traffic issues,
And there is parking on Morgan Street
Yes.
that's available if people would use it.
That's correct.
They wanna
Rampart's a little bit different.
they
A
wanna
couple
get-
of them on Rampart, but
Yeah, they want to get in the front door.
they want to get close. They don't want to take more than 3 steps.
Yeah.
So it complicates it. Some people, not everyone, I shouldn't say that, but
That's true.
a lot of them don't want to, and weather conditions sometimes restrict it also,
That's-
it's raining,
that's okay.
cold.
Any other questions for the police department? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am? You have a question for the police department?
No, we have a comment. All right, give me a moment. Now, one moment. Okay. Stacy Domain, 103 Renee. I'd like to know if the rifles have been allowed into the police vehicles, which they should be, because I know from past experience that when my dad took over in Morgan City, that was 24/7. First thing he did, automatic weapons and a shotgun locked into each police
That's a
unit.
question for the police department, for the chief. He can
No.
answer your question.
It's a question for the council because all of y'all have to approve what goes on. And if a man's life is determined
Or I'll answer this one.
by just a sidearm, it's not enough. And I'm sorry, I know it's not enough because my son was border patrol
Okay.
that carried on with a sidearm and was shot at by a
Councilman Downs will answer your question.
Answer my question.
Yes, ma'am, I will. Great question. Thanks for stepping up and asking it. It was something we certainly explored. We got with the chief on it. We have to have a written policy in place before that can take place. They, at this point in time, have opted to table the situation until they can write the policy. Anything else you want to know?
Excuse me. This policy has been discussed, just like the pay of the police has been discussed and discussed and discussed and discussed. But I don't see people rushing to do something. Your life depends on that thin blue line, but you're not doing enough to get enough of a thin blue line. And I know what goes on, because I did service in the Morgan City Police Department. I know what goes on. And what goes on is that if you have one man and all he has is a handgun and someone else has a more sophisticated weapon,
The answer's
that's
been
it.
given to
Anyway,
you.
I'll finish, Mayor. I'm not sure what answer you want me to give you, but there's
I want to see the police armed enough to defend themselves, because they're not going to necessarily have immediate backup. And if you don't have, look, you come to my house and threaten me, you're going to get shot. And I'm going to smile while I'm doing it. But, come visit me, Tim. But anyhow, what I'm saying is, my dad knew from having taught police work for LSU, from New Orleans to Lake Charles. So when he went into Morgan City, he was very adamant about making sure the men had adequate firearms and adequate protection in the police unit. And you gotta have that, because you cannot, even within a small area, cannot get someone there fast enough. And yes, I know of officers who have went to deliver paperwork and were shot and almost killed. And that was just right up there in Covington. Years back, a friend of mine's daughter almost lost her fiance because he didn't have on a vest, and he was just delivering a piece of paper. You don't know what's going on. And right now, you have so many people who don't care, who don't worry about it. But you better worry about it, because if something happens, the town is liable for what's going on. Did you have adequate protection? Were the people there, did they have adequate protection? Was the response immediately, or what was going on? And right now, I don't see it. I agree with Lewis. I know better. I've been there, done that, and y'all better start thinking differently.
hang on, we're not done. You asked me a question, I'm going to try and answer it once again. Listen to me.
Tell me.
You've asked me about the gun policy, about the rifle, is that correct? What we did, I met with the chief about it, Keith and I did. I went and met with the state police department in Baton Rouge about it. We have to have a written policy in place before that can take place. At this point in time, the chief has opted to table it, not the council, not the safety committee. So that's all I can tell you. If you have more questions about that, maybe you should ask the gentleman.
Untable it, and you need to do, and need to write it. It doesn't take a genius to write a policy that makes sense. And you need that man needs protection. Look, I know what happened.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, could we put that on the council's committee agenda for June?
For what? It's in the police department's hands.
I can come up with a few sample policies in 2 weeks.
He chose to table it. Is that correct right now? I mean, there's no other request for it, right? But when you bring it back with that, well, you can.
I'm making a request, Mr. Mayor. I don't know if you saw the video in the Hammond shooting. They jumped out of that car with automatic weapons. That's just one town over. I mean, I think we really need to consider this when we put people out on the road. They're there overnight by themselves. We've got literally 20,000 cars that come through this town, according to the traffic studies, every day. I think it's a legitimate issue, and I'm telling you, I can have a policy for you in a couple of weeks. If the police chief doesn't want to implement it, then, maybe he can look at the policy and say, hey, this doesn't make sense to us,
I mean, it's nothing, no one keeping you from presenting him whatever you want to present him.
Listen, we're getting off into the weeds here. We've met about this. We've presented a state policy. It's something that hasn't been acted upon yet. And I'm not going to tell this man how to run his department. He's a professional at what he does. We put him in that position for a reason. If you don't think he's doing his job, say that. All right? He's doing a great job at what he's doing. He just opted right now, doesn't think that's what his department needs to do at this point in time. And I'm not going to sit here and tell him how to run his department. I trust him in the decisions he makes.
I think he's doing his job. I don't think we're doing ours.
Thank you very much. There's no other comment? I'm sorry, you're out of order. You're out of order.
You're always out of order.
Yes, you are usually. Town Attorney, Mr. Danner. Thank you. Oh, I'm talking, I'm sorry, Kyle. Go first? No, come up. That's right.
All right, gas system, still moving along, 13 new customers last month. We did pick up another commercial area out by Haddon Arrows across the street, strip mall, there's gonna be three units in there, all using gas, restaurant, and two smaller, units. The Pine Oaks gas main, which is on Mr. Joe's, I think it's on Mr. Joe's list, all the gas main is in, they're about to start tying in and then hooking the houses to the new main. A lot of 4th of July prep going on in town, seen all the flags and banners, about to start working on the riverfront for the celebration. LMA, which is we're the member of the Louisiana Municipal Association, is now doing our safety training. So about once a quarter, we're scheduling with Mandeville, so they come do City of Mandeville and us in the same day. And then the well, we picked out a location. Now we just have to see if DHH is going to meet all their requirements, and then B is going to get the process rolling on the permit for that.
Any questions for maintenance?
I have another question. I don't know if Al was still working for us. I'd ask it during his. I don't know who to ask this under, but another resident issue with the house right next to the coffee place. They caught fire and is boarded up now. I mean, I know we have a blighted property ordinance. When do we put that into place or take action on it? Or has some action been taken?
Are they waiting on an insurance policy or something? Has anybody approached them and asked them?
Kenny's in contact with them.
Yeah, I think our permits department is in contact with the property owner. They have indicated that they have different options, whether to repair it, raise it. You know, they've looked at several different things according to what he's reported back at a regular meeting.
They've had a few issues. I had Kenny call her about some flying tin. I know she fixed, that's all been fixed, but besides that, I know someone's living in the left side portion of it, which is separate.
Structure that caught fire, it was about 2 or 3 months ago, I guess? Yeah. So, but it's been vacant for, I want to say, years, and really overgrown and kind of in a state of disrepair. At some point, it seems like we've got to take some action, more than we've done so far, with the property owner to let the property owner know this is serious, I guess.
That's what we tried to do after the fire, was just ensure the safety of the building. There's no kid or anything, that's why we had to hold it up. And she's been supposed to do something with it, she works at Snail Face. But the initial deal was to try to make sure there's no kids or the safety of the building itself, so that's why we had to board it up. And then we're gonna try to work from there. So,
But as both of these gentlemen can tell you, it is discussed at our Monday morning meeting with the permits department. But, you know, to say that the house is in disrepair is a very difficult thing to prove. You know, it's you know, having a home or a business torn down is a blighted project, a blighted property is not easy, and it's been very few that we've been that we've had success to do that with, or need to do that with. And I'm not sure that this property is at that stage or not. I mean, but that's not my opinion. I mean, someone would have to prove that the property needs to be demolished.
And it's got some, Kenny said it's supposedly on a historical
That's exactly what Kim
register.
just said, yeah.
And she's holding to that on, I think, slowing down the process, so.
I'll give Kenny comfort and we'll get, she's somewhat, the owner somewhat difficult to deal with at home, but we got to do something. Yeah.
I think if the owner is moving at a snail's pace, as you described it, it seems like there's some escalating process that we could use to say, hey, look, this has become an issue in the town, we need you to move forward, present a plan, timetable, whatever. If you're living next to it, it's an issue for the people living next to it.
I'll leave with Ken when we come back.
Any other questions?
And just as a side note, I appreciate the mayor's willingness to work with people. We've had other properties in town that have been an issue, and I think if everybody's circumstance is different. But I think at some point, if it remains vacant for years and then the tin's flying off, the roof's flying off, it gets flooded, then it's
If it's hazardous, right, if it's hazardous, then that's a problem, and I agree. You know, it is good to always take everybody's financial and their stance, right, in life into consideration, but you also have to remember that if somebody's having to live next to it and they are concerned about the safety of the home, it's worth bringing up.
And listen, each time that we've addressed it with the property owner, she's made the necessary repairs. She's fixed the roof, she's boarded up the property, she's responded to our complaints. And not that I'm certainly not trying to protect anyone here. I'm just saying that we have discussed it, we have addressed some of the issues with the property, and there's been some response to those requests.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kyle.
Mr. Dannon?
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, renew eviction. I'm handling that. Ethics complaint, I'm away assisting our legal counsel. As you know, I'm a witness to that, but whenever I can gather stuff and reduce his time, which means reduce his fee, then I will do that. I reviewed and revised on the community center roofing contract. I'm still dealing with the SBA. I get calls all the time to try to buy the town out, okay? And just about every single time, they're lowballing it, but, you know, they're trying, but they're not succeeding. We're dealing with the town insurance, communicating with Stephen Marcus about that. He's putting a total package together for us. I've been dealing with a NUMO contract, and we have consulted with, I think, the state or some organization of the state, maybe the municipal association mayor, about getting another contract rather than NUMO.
Yes.
Yes, okay, so we're waiting on that. Occasionally, and this is one of them, I've been dealing with the opioid litigation. As you know, we have a class action counsel for that in Mandeville. And occasionally I'll go there and we'll talk what's going on, but mostly signing papers, and I did that last week. Of course, I attend mayor's court, but not only the day of the court, but also basically I attend the individuals who administer mayor's court, other than myself, with regard to review of tickets and things of that nature prior to the actual mayor's court. And attorneys, I might say, and also I attended the council meetings and committee meetings twice a month.
Any questions for Mr. Dannon?
What was the town attorney talking about with NUMO or the municipal association?
There's two different things. The NUMO, I'm sorry, that is the contract that we're actually operating with to do our occupational license renewals. That's the name of the company. And the St. Tammany Municipal Association is working with a new firm that they're saying we're going to get better rates and better service out of. It was a company that was introduced to us originally 5, 6 years ago, I guess, longer than that, okay, by the Municipal Association that we've been dealing with since then. And they're negotiating and entering into a contract with a new company that we're going to consider or look at going with, yeah, I guess.
Better rates
For the town. We're going to pay less to them for collecting our occupational license.
Is Stephen planning to, you mentioned a package or present, is he planning to make a presentation to the council on his recommendations with insurance?
Yeah, once he's prepared to do that, yes. And we're dealing with some issues that we have to improve our securities and our backup, help me there.
Our cybersecurity.
Cybersecurities, yeah. So we're looking at that, trying to improve that end of it to get a better rate. Because some companies, our cybersecurity wasn't deep enough, giving us enough protections for them to give us a rate. So we're trying to improve that to get the best rate possible. Any other questions? Thank you. Going into council comments, Councilman Ogle, Councilman Dennis.
Yes. If you look at the handout that I provided you guys, I'd like to discuss that just right quick. I attended an emergency preparedness seminar on May 28th for Louisiana municipalities, first responders, local officials, faith-based organizations, law enforcement, volunteer organizations, along with state and parish officials. That's a long sentence. It was emceed by Clint Orey, who retired from Fire District 4 and now is the director for the parish for emergency response, and it was very informative. And there was much discussion on how to handle the loss of power, homes, life, evacuation routes, state police. The contraflow is not going to change. It's going to be the same routes. But the thing, FEMA response times, distribution drops of water, cleaning supplies, food, MREs, fuel depots for first responders and municipalities was a concern. But my biggest takeaway from this was the reorganization of FEMA that's happening right now, which once implemented will take 2 to 3 years to complete. And it's through President Trump's evaluation of all government agencies, it was found FEMA to be 80% fat at the management level on top, heavily over payrolled, while at the lower level, 20% disaster response was underpowered and heavily burdened. So what that means, if you will just follow along, the first paragraph, the first sentence, base reimbursement change proposes lowering the standard federal cost share from 75% to 50%. And what that means is once we have let's take Hurricane Ida when it came through town. Of course, we were the first municipality to get back up and going, and that's because we had, thanks to Mayor Pilot, we had all our ducks in a row. Had the debris monitor contracts already signed. They were on standby. They were just waiting on clearance to come into town from CLECO. And so CLECO had their response teams in here, and they were fixing the lines, and especially on Pine Street, it was really bad. But and we were able to cover all the expenses occurred, which means we kept the employees' payroll going, their benefits going. We fed them, we had water until we ran out of water. In fact, Sheriff Randy Smith brought us a couple of pallets over, and I actually ran down to Slidell. You made arrangements with the mayor. At that time, we went and picked up a pallet of water to keep our maintenance guys hydrated. Thank you. But what this means, and what caught my eye, is the financial exposure. Now, as far as I know, when you first came into office, you made sure the town was covered as far as financially for the catastrophic storms. We've had Ida, we had another one before that, but it was all taken care of because we had our ducks in a row. And what FEMA's doing is they're going to be restructuring to where they want to lower the 75% reimbursement rate. And correct me if I'm wrong, y'all met every week with a FEMA rep, or every other week after the storms. They come in, you have to go through the guidelines, you have to give the receipts, you have to give this, give that. But it can take up to 2 to 3 years to get reimbursed back from the federal government. Is that correct?
The treatment took almost 70.
Well, actually, yes. I mean, the system that we have in place today is working, and if I can only just refer to the last couple of storms, is working much, much better, more smoothly. We have professionals that are on behalf of the town meeting with Katrina on a regular basis. So we do hire that out. We've got a great relationship with the company, and as Kyle and Deidre can tell you, and Josh, I mean, because they represent the same company represents the fire department. They do a wonderful job, and we have not we've not been delayed in our payments or reimbursements for the most recent few storms as we were in the past. I mean, we were close to 6, 8, 10 years getting refunds from previous storms when I first got in office, but it's been very well handled as of recent storms, and certainly we still have the same contractors in place to do to represent us in the future.
Thank you, Mayor. The second thing, if you look on the same top paragraph where it says financial exposure, local governments will need to budget for a higher portion of disaster costs up front unless they meet these performance metrics. What that means, it won't affect us as much as some of the other municipalities because we can afford to pay to have things done here in town and submit the receipts and wait for the reimbursements to come back. But what they're proposing is FEMA wants to only provide 50% coverage now instead of the 75%. And on top of that, they want to move some of the responsibility from the federal level down to the state's level and say, take Louisiana, for instance, we have a hurricane come through. FEMA may want to just dump a pot of cash onto the state and let the state level at the government's office disperse those funds to the municipalities, hopefully making it go transition faster. Don't know if that's going to happen yet, but there's a lot going on up top, but I just wanted to bring that to y'all's consideration for the rest of our administration with the next 2 years and for the next administration that comes through. Because it's going to take 2 to 3 years if it stays in play. If Trump goes out of office, the next president that comes in may decide, we're going to go back to the old FEMA. He may change the policy again. But that's what's going on in our government right now. But I just thought that we needed, especially in the finance department and Deidre, to let you guys know what's going on. That's it. Thank you.
Any questions for Keith? Certainly want to thank Keith for attending that meeting for the town. He was very willing to do that when I asked him. And certainly it was good having someone represent the town and to bring back the information that he brought. So thank you very much, Councilman.
Well, Fire District 2 was there as well.
Councilman Haddix?
No comment.
Councilwoman Faison?
No comment.
Councilman Bounds?
I have one last comment. The splash pad is rocking with little one-year-olds and below out there and 2-year-old. They must have been 50 at one time out there. They had a mother's convention is what I called it, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, they certainly, it's a wonderful thing to have here in town, and it's well attended. I really have no other comments as far as the mayor's comments. We do have a very active 4th of July planned, and certainly I hope that everyone is able to be in town and support and join us on the riverfront for that 4th of July. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
By Councilman Dennis, second by Councilwoman Faison. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you.